Amigos, buenas tardes, noches, días, donde sea que nos estén viendo. Estamos aquí en La Mole. Vamos a hablar con el señor James O'Barr, creador del Cuervo, y obviamente tiene muchas actividades, así que hemos decidido hacerlo en su break. Vamos a empezar con la entrevista. So, James O'Barr, sculptor, artist, musician, and another disciplines. How do you find time for all that?
I don't have a social life.
Okay.
I work 16 hours a day and sleep 4 hours a night. So, there's a lot I want to accomplish in my lifetime, and I'm 50 now, so it feels like time's running out. So I take every opportunity to do things. I don't waste a single day.
Okay. Is it stressful for you to make all this?
No, because I love what I'm doing.
Okay.
Sometimes I can't sleep because I'm so excited about what I'm going to draw the next day. So, I feel very blessed that I get to do what I love for a living. How many people can say that?
Yeah. What do you think about Mexico?
Actually, I've only ever been to Tijuana and Juarez. Because I'm from Detroit and I like to go to dangerous places. So,
okay.
So I am looking forward to seeing Mexico City, which I'm told is a safe city.
Okay, yeah.
You don't agree?
Yeah, I'm agree. We are on the streets.
No one's attempted to kidnap me so far.
Okay. Let's talk about comics. Mm-hmm. The crowd talks about your feelings. Why do you express them through the comic? Why not in another way?
Well, I like to treat comics kind of as a diary and sometimes like a form of therapy where I can work out my problems on paper. I've been involved with films before, and there's so many people involved that it's hard to keep control of it. But with comic books and writing, I have total control over everything. I don't have to make any concessions. I don't have to say, okay, that's good enough.
It's more personal.
It's more personal, and I know exactly what I want. I don't have to explain it to an actor or to a musician. I know exactly what I want, and it's just more fulfilling knowing that when I get to the end of a painting or a project or a story, that I did this by myself.
Okay, the crowd is quite disturbing. It expresses great anger, sadness, melancholy, yes, and violence. Was it difficult to translate this into the page of the comic book?
Yeah, it was. It took, the book was initially intended to be one last love letter to my fiance who was killed.
Yeah, and, I'm sorry.
It was 30 years ago, so I've gotten over it to some degree, to what you can, something like that. But I forget the question. What was it again?
It was difficult, all these emotions.
Oh yeah, it was very difficult. I could only work on it like 10 pages at a time, and then I would have to stop because it was just too painful. So, literally it took me 10 years to finish that.
The crow works like a character about these feelings of you.
Yeah. The love story is very factual. It's a lot of it is almost word for word. The relationship I had with this person. But in real life, you don't really get justice. Bad things happen to good people, and there's no real reason for it. And so I was very angry about that, and I thought, well, at least I can get some justice on paper. So that was the kind of therapy thing for me.
Okay. In the end, you talk about forgiving yourself. The crowd succeed. Have you already accomplished this?
It took a long time. And then the death of Brandon kind of brought it all back up again. That somehow I was responsible, you know, even though I wasn't even there. It was like, you know, he was working on my project when it happened. So those same feelings kind of came back again. But I gradually worked through them, and you kind of have to focus on the things you can change, and enjoy the moment you're in rather than dwelling on things that you cannot change. So, you know, now I feel fortunate to have had a relationship with this girl and to have been friends with Brandon. You know, and Brandon has, you know, Brandon and that film have given me a wonderful life. You know, I get to travel the world. So yeah, I'm very thankful, and you know, as much as you can be at peace with losing two people that you love. You know, I have kind of come full circle with that.
Okay, how do you feel about such a tragic incident becoming the key to your professional life?
Well, initially when it started, when I did the book, I didn't think anyone would ever see it. You know, in fact, I really wasn't even thinking about publishing it. You know, because I thought, well, who would be interested in this? It's, you know, it's depressing, it's violent. It starts in the middle of the story and works its way backwards. So I wasn't even sure there was an audience for it, and then later on I felt like, you know, there were these special moments between me and the girl who was Shelley, that those moments were for me alone, you know, and I had to be very careful not to feel like I was exploiting those for entertainment purposes, you know.
Yeah, I know.
So, you know, but I think I managed to keep it, you know, very personal without, you know, without exposing too much of our relationship.
Okay, do you think that your work has in any way helped someone in a similar situation?
Oh yeah, I hear that constantly, that, you know, your book helped me through a really hard time in my life. And I mean, even though that was never my intention, you know, I was just trying to, I had the same answers questions everyone else has, and I was just trying to find the answers in my work. And so I'm very happy that, you know, it's comforting to know someone else out there knows exactly how you feel, you know, that you're not the only one in the world like that. So, you know, I'm very happy that it's found its audience, you know, that understands it, you know, that it's not about the violence, it's about the love story, you know, and about the loss.
I have read this book, and it's very complicated for me. So because the narrative that you use in this is not linear. No. So how do you imagine this? How do you think about that?
Well, actually, I didn't really think about it. It was like I would get up one day, and if I was angry, I would draw an angry scene, you know, or if I was sad, I would draw a sad scene. And you know, it doesn't. You know, the book doesn't even explain what happened until 2/3 of the way through. But I thought, if the story's compelling enough, you don't really need to do that, you know. If people will keep reading to find out what happened. But yeah, that was a concern of mine, that I never explained anything until 200 pages into it.
Okay, talk about the film. What do you can say about that? About the film?
About the first film?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was heavily involved in the first film. You know, I got to pick most of the actors and the director. So, you know, overall, I'm really happy with it. You know, it's a very small budget movie. It's a $10 million movie. You know, Avengers cost $176 million. You know, and the fact that, you know, it still holds up so well. I'm really proud of it. And the few things that I do take exception with, it wasn't that they didn't want to do it my way. It's just they didn't have the money to do it.
Okay.
That's almost nothing for a feature film. An episode of Star Trek cost $11 million.
Yeah.
And that's 45 minutes. So overall, I'm really happy with it, and especially with Brandon. Brandon really shines in that movie.
Okay. Well, we are going to finish this.
Okay.
And how about anything else do you want to say at your fans in Mexico that see the interview?
Stick around. I have a lot more new stuff coming out, and I'm a much better artist now and a much better storyteller. 20 years later, I have learned my craft, so I have some really good things coming out that I'm really proud of. So, but since I do them myself, they're still going to be very personal and romantic and violent, just because that's how I am. Those are parts of me. So, whether it's a Western or a crime thing, they're still going to contain all the same elements. So, if you like The Crow, you'll like the Western I'm doing.
Yeah. Muy bien, chavos, esto fue James O'Barr, creador del Cuervo. Ojalá les haya gustado. Thanks so much for the interview. Goodbye.